It's so predictable. I knew you'd click. So deliciously easy to manipulate. You saw the title, felt a little sting, and couldn't help yourself. It's honestly too easy, like spotting a wounded gazelle and dividing it from the herd. I knew exactly who to target. I mean, you're rather insipid, aren't you? So I don't have to even try that hard at all, just whisper, your art is awful. Everyone's going to laugh at you. If you post that, everyone's going to think you're a weirdo. You think people are going to buy that? You're too old, too stupid, too ugly, too fat, too thin. Honestly, fill in the blank and boom. That's all it takes to start you spiraling into all of that self-doubt. And then I pounce on your back and sink my teeth in. Oh, the incessant rumination is truly delicious. It's what I feed off, you see. Sadness, misery, shame, despair. Mwah! At one time, do you remember when you couldn't get out of bed? Was it for days? Weeks? Maybe it was for months. Now that was a medieval feast. I haven't devoured that much of a living soul since Joan of Arc.
You didn't see what was, John. You saw what you wanted to see.
But we could not get to Joan, so we had to resort to getting to the people around her who were jealous and envious, who had her committed and then burned at the stake. 500 years later, she would be exonerated and made a saint.
And even she put up more of a fight than you. Oh, you're practically setting the table for me. Silverware polished, napkin folded. And you served on a platter of insecurity with a side of crushed creative dreams. A personal favourite of mine. You see, my delicate little depressed souffle. I'm not real, or am I? Who is this voice that's been living rent-free in your head? No lease, no deposit, and yet I am here with my feet up, scheming away. Every time you bravely posted your art online and got 0 likes, I made sure that you replayed that moment over and over. When someone said, not bad, but I've seen better, I made sure you obsessed over it for weeks. And the other artist, the one who's younger, more successful, and has thousands of followers. That comparison didn't come from you, silly rabbit. In fact, I remember when I pitched that compare and despair campaign to the big boss downstairs, and he loved it. Who's the boss? Have you not caught on? Our most successful brand campaign ever was to convince you that he doesn't exist. There's no such thing as evil, remember? You mortals say it's all in your head. Apparently. I'm always surprised, though, how easy it is to disguise my thoughts as your own. Think of it as metaphysical advertising. You've never caught on, though, and thought to question that this voice doesn't sound like you. Never thought to stop and think, wait, this voice sounds like my bitter Aunt Susan. No. Instead, you take my words, you wrap them around yourself like a sad little blankie, and bedrot deep into depression. The gag is, I've been doing this for so long, you can't tell. You think I am you. I mean, it would honestly be adorable if it wasn't so pathetic, you know? And you wonder why you keep attracting evil people into your life who drain you, why you keep getting surrounded by soul-sucking emotional leeches. Heaven's reward fallacy really gets you goody two-shoes every time. Let me spell it out for you. You attract evil people because you are a good person, duh. But you refuse to believe that. You've convinced yourself that you are bad too, and so you keep giving evil people the time of day because you think that's what you deserve. I mean, it's really not your fault when I do such a good job of convincing you that you're always wrong, stupid, and talentless. I must give myself credit where credit is due, you know? I've done a great job of twisting your mind. You see, the evil people all work for us. We use them when we can't get to you. They see you, smell you from a mile away, the same way a shark smells blood in the water. You walk around radiating that golden, blindingly bright empathy like a goddamn lighthouse. And you're wondering why you keep meeting manipulator after manipulator, narcissist after narcissist. Oh, but the tea is, it's not about attracting better people. It's about realizing that you're a good person in the first place. If you realised you were a good person, you'd stop associating with these weirdos and trying to understand them because they are beyond help. I've programmed them. Until you do that, you're handing out a free trial subscription to your delectable soul, my darling. And let me tell you, these evil people, they never plan on paying because they do my bidding. No matter how much you try to fix them, you can't. I've rigged the system. You see that tiny bit of hope in them? I leave that in to lure you in closer like an anglerfish. You take the bait every time. Who am I? Well, glad you ask. I'm the devil's advocate and
I'm playing the villain, baby, just like you want.
You see, in order to know who you are, you must know who you are not. And every story needs a villain for the hero to save the day.
Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings obliteration. And I'll face my fear, not permit it to pass over me through me.
Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, The Matrix. This is The State of the Artist. My name is Liv, and I'm an artist from London who's committed to sharing the truth about how to actually become a healthy artist and creative in 2025. So are you ready to let go of fear and save yourself in the story of you? Because no one is coming to save you, and that's okay because you're going to save yourself. In order to be heroic, you must be courageous and brave, something I know you already have. It is as simple as that. It's just not as easy as that. But before I unpack this, I'm not saying you don't need anyone or that you shouldn't ask for help or support, but actualization, evolution of the soul, the life you deserve, the art you want to make involves becoming the hero. And that means taking responsibility for your life. Everyone's got their own shit going on, and that's okay because now so do you. So I repeat, no one is coming to save you. The hero you are waiting for is you. And if you're seeing this and you don't know this, it is a rude awakening, but it's a giant step forward in your growth. Now, some of you are going to want to run away and skip this video, so trot off. But for those of you who have stayed, I'm proud of you for getting over the discomfort of this awkward conversation. Healing is not easy. That's why most people don't do it. The reason we have to go to therapy is because others won't. We have to pay to fix the damage others have caused us, and no one thanks us for it. We have to liberate our souls out of pure free will, grit and determination, and you will do it because I'm doing it. So here is everything that I've learned in therapy that was valuable to give you a head start. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about victim blaming, not in the slightest. That would imply that you have a choice in being targeted. You didn't. You were chosen because you have that shiny, golden, I see the best in everyone, I love creating energy, and at first it was all sparkling and vibrant. You had that I just want everyone to be happy and that makes me happy energy. I want to make the world a better place mentality. That energy is the creme de la creme. It's the Michelin star of creative energy. However, it does make you an easy target for those who are emotionally bankrupt. You end up being a walking buffet for these types of people who want to take advantage of you. So I'm going to give you the advice that I wish I was given 20 years ago. This alone would have changed my life. Now, I'm not religious, but I believe every religion has an element of truth. What I do believe is that there are helpful people and there are harmful people and everything in between. But to deny that there are hardly any harmful people out there is illogical. That's why we lock our doors at night, as a precaution and a boundary. Walking around with extreme empathy, it's imbalanced. It's not healthy. It's not locking your door at night and allowing anyone to walk into your house, in and around it. Now, nobody showed you that you need ego and you need empathy, just not 80 to 90% of empathy, and walking around with that 80 to 90% empathy will get your house broken into. The reason you're fed up, the reason you're burnt out, the reason you cannot pursue your passions is because you are not using your energy in the way it was intended. It is not selfish to be yourself and to be invested in yourself. That is called self-possession, not self obsession. So rather than giving out 80 to 90% of your empathetic energy, it just needs to come back into a place of homeostasis. Because having extreme empathy results in danger for you. It involves you being around dangerous people, friends, relationships, family members. And so I have to ask you, why on earth would you think that looking after number one is selfish? Yes, have empathy. Yes, care about people, the environment, social and political causes. Just not to an extreme which causes your own life to become out of balance. You are no good to a community if you are not here. If you end up in hospital with severe burnout or a nervous breakdown, then what? Put the oxygen mask on yourself first. And I say this as somebody who has been recovering from severe burnout for the last 4 years. It's really difficult to get over. Recovering from burnout takes up to 4 years. And some people never recover. And that's what a lot of us don't understand when we're giving out a lot of energy that we don't actually have. Because there are no reserves. Now, someone or something has distorted your reality, and I'm going to do my best to recalibrate that a little bit for you now with a reality check. I want you to understand that I love that you care. You believe in the best in people, but not everyone acts in the best way. That is simply illogical. I need you to understand. You have to stop expecting the world to be fair. Look around you. Nothing is fair about this world. That doesn't mean you now seek revenge and turn into a bitter monster. It just means equilibrium needs to be restored into your life. If you want to be noticed in this world, not in an egotistical, narcissistic way, but for an exchange of value, being an artist and supplying people with art is a healthy exchange. Artists and creators have existed since the beginning of humanity. You need a little bit of your ego in there. No one is going to go out of your way to notice you unless you stand up and be counted. No one is going to magically find and make you a star. Hold that thought about the star because I'm going to come back to this. No one is going to do it for you. And why should they? It's not someone else's job to see that you are a good, valuable, and talented person. It's your job. The same way that it's not your job to see value in abusive, destructive, and people who you think have potential. No, it's not your responsibility. It's your responsibility to remember who you are and to focus on the health of yourself. Now let's talk about your art for a second. If you were truly as weak as you thought, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't still feel that itch to create, no matter how many times you've buried it. No, the reason you still have that drive, that urge to create, is because you're not weak. The reason you're still here listening is because you haven't given up. And I'm telling you that only 1% will have got this far because they really don't want to change and they don't like the truth. As soon as I said that the world isn't fair, they would have tapped out. But it is the truth, and many can't handle that. It takes a great deal of strength to survive in this world because there's so much adversity, so I commend you for wanting that glow up. If you want to glow up, you have to allow yourself to glow from the inside out. Here's the thing. You've been letting those harmful thoughts that you don't identify with control your narrative, and it's been a long time. Think about it. You've actually said to yourself, you're talentless, you're stupid, you should give up. If someone had said that to you, those words to your face in the street, you would have laughed at them. You would have rolled your eyes and walked away and thought, what a weirdo. But because that voice came from inside you, you take it as gospel and you trusted it. And that's why you're creatively constipated, because I need you to understand that it's not your voice, it is a voice that echoes every insecurity, every fear, every criticism you've ever absorbed. The inner critic is built from years of comparison, rejection, and those tiny moments that chipped away at your confidence. But here's the kicker. It's not you. It never was. It's like static on a radio, and somehow that noise has got turned all the way up. The real you, that's the part that has noticed the inner critic, the part that felt the sting but kept going, that part that clicked on this video, because deep down there's still a flicker of hope, a tiny stubborn spark that refuses to go out. That flicker, that's the fire of the artist. And that's the fighter. That's you. Let's be real. Talking to yourself is considered crazy. I'm autistic and I still and talk to myself all day. The healthiest thing you can do is to talk to yourself. Just make sure to filter out the helpful thoughts from the harmful thoughts. And if you ever find yourself confused, ask yourself, how helpful is this thought? How useful is this thought? But because of the stigma, you never thought to mock or question or laugh at the absurdity of this voice. You just let the thoughts become real by identifying with them and allowing them to fester and rot inside of you. Your sadness, your shame, if you don't let it go, it's dangerous. Here's where things get interesting. You know deep down you're good. You know you're a good person. You know your worth. But what happened? Something happened. Maybe lots of things happened. But you were let down by someone you trusted and that you thought you could rely on. And ever since that event happened, it changed your paradigm and shattered your reality and self-worth. That was a portal that changed time, literally forever. You have not been able to leave that portal. But the good news is that you're now on the other side and I'm holding the door open for you to leave. This is a tower moment, but you have to understand that tower moments aren't something to fear. Not all tower moments are scary or bad. Sometimes it feels like a relief, like having a thorn taken out from your side. If you're still here, you've just pulled out that thorn. Now you can fit through the doorway that you couldn't before. So congratulations, you haven't ruined your life. This is the next chapter. And it's about to get exciting. The next part is not about art, but I'm telling you, this is the main reason why you cannot make art. I've also made a full video about it. It's up here and you can watch it and save it for later. I'll repeat this till I'm blue in the face, but making art has very little to do with talent and more to do with dexterity and mental resilience. Your ability to handle rejection and criticism makes you a better artist if you allow it. I've unpacked how to handle creative rejection free on my Substack as well, but let's address the elephant in the room, and I want you to take it like a champ. No one wants to admit that they were a victim. No one wants to accept that they were taken advantage of. But the first step in breaking free from the past is leaving it there. Realizing I was a victim and I was taken advantage of. That doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you stupid or naive. It just means that you were traumatized. And there is life after trauma. Let me be the example to show you. Because hell is the past and reliving it like it's happening now. That's how hell becomes right here. How hell becomes other people. Hell is not standing up for yourself. Hell is not setting boundaries, and hell is saying yes when you should be saying no. Gabor Mate has an incredible book linking chronic illness to this, and I highly recommend it. You cannot walk off a broken leg, and you cannot walk off a traumatic event like it didn't happen. Trauma in the brain and trauma to the body have the same outcome on the individual. If you don't accept and validate that you were, past tense, a victim, you will stay in the past and remain a victim forever. Now you can say, well, I don't have a victim mentality. If you still feel traumatized, it's because the body doesn't know. The body still feels like a victim. Because if you're still holding it, it's because we store trauma in the body. It is typical to neglect the body post-trauma, and most are unconscious of that. That mind-body connection to safely release it hasn't happened. I'm going to show you how to release it, so stay with me, and it's connected to the star thing. So well done if you remember to keep remembering that. If you're looking for other people to validate your trauma, it's never going to happen. In my circumstance, there are not many people that have survived a near-death experience. There aren't many people that can relate to me on that. I cheated death, and I am lucky to be alive. If I keep separating myself by saying, no one understands me, I continue to separate, I continue to split. When you separate, when you isolate, you end up feeling cursed. And that is how you end up with a villain origin story. And I don't want that for you. I want you to understand why traumatized people traumatize people. And it's because they don't let go and they don't process what happened to them. What happened was wrong, and I'm not minimizing how you suffered. But turn on the news and guaranteed you will see someone experiencing a unique trauma you cannot identify with. We must accept that bad thing happened. But the traumatic event is not who we are or what we are. I am Liv. I'm not a series of diagnoses. I'm a soul. You are a soul. You are pure, radiant, bright light of a soul. You were born filled to the brim with love, with self-respect, dignity and creativity, and that doesn't disappear after something has happened to you. That number doesn't lower. Your value doesn't decrease. You were made out of pure love, and that will never ever change. So hold on to that truth. Identify with that. Now, in order for our subconscious brain to take things in and to really learn, we do it by repetition. So with your permission, I'm going to disrupt the autopilot program by way of novelty. Now, this profound moment happened to me recently. It was so obscure and so random that I have to share it with you. And this is really not my usual type of content. I don't get people to do exercises. That's how you know that this was a download. And I hate it when people say it's a download, but it was a download. So how do you know that you're alive? Well, you look at your hands, you go, well, I can see them, I can move them, but how do you know that they are your hands? Who is you? Hold that thought. I want you to look at Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, a star-shaped symbol of balance and sacred geometry. Now, Carl Sagan said, "We are made of star stuff," and Neil deGrasse Tyson echoes this all the time. The iron in your blood, the carbon in your cells, all forged from ancient stars. You are not separate from the universe. You are a living, breathing expression of it, a perfect intersection of science and stardust. Okay, fine, star shape, star man, but the star shape represents a universal connection with our body of expansion, freedom, and coming together. I want you to think about ravers in the club when they dance. Their arms are spread wide, fully embracing the music. It's so empowering to just let go to the beat with all of these people. When a sports team wins, or like an Olympian wins the gold medal, their hands are raised so high, everybody is cheering. And it's this release of collective celebration that radiates like a burst of light. Seeing your favorite artist at a show, that wave of excitement when everybody gets up and their arms are out, heart racing. It's this energy shared with everyone around you. It's this connection to something bigger than you in a physical way. Running into your parents' arms when you were small, running to them after school, arms wide open, feeling that joy, that safety, that love, that connection, all in a single embrace. The moment of lifting your hands up in a gospel choir and everybody's singing. It's not just about faith, it's about feeling liberated in the body. Expression in ballet. The arabesque, the dancer's arms wide, that expression of grace and emotion. Yoga's Aditya Tadasana pose. Standing, again, arms out, a star pose. It's all rooted in grounding strength, potential, and the ability to expand. The Hindu goddess with her many arms, Durga embodies the strength and transformation. Each arm radiates power and the energy to create and destroy. So, I have this exercise for you. You're going to put your arms out, stand in a star shape, stop whatever you're doing. I haven't gone mad, just go with it. And I know this feels absolutely, totally ridiculous, but sometimes we just need to do what we need to do, so just go with it. I want you to stand in this star shape and just listen to my voice and close your eyes. Why are you making me do this, Liv? Trust me, just go with it. So in this shape, you are remembering where you come from, who you are. Take a breath and feel the blood pumping to your fingertips. Wiggle your left hand, wiggle your right hand, take a deep breath. Right down to your toes, wiggle your left foot and your right foot. Take another breath right up through to your spine, to your stomach, up to your heart, to your head. Move your head from right to left, up and down. Take a breath. Now put your arms down.
Hopefully your eyes are still closed. So I want you to place your dominant hand onto your heart and the other below onto your stomach. The chance of you being alive is 1 in 400 trillion. In this position, you are empowering the body by way of gratitude. So I want you to repeat after me. I trust my body to help me. I need you, body, just as I need my mind. Thank you, body, for doing everything automatically. And without me having to even ask. Thank you for breathing, for every single heartbeat that pumps blood all the way through me. For digesting my food, for protecting me against infection. Thank you for allowing me to be great. Thank you for allowing me to create art with my bare hands. I cannot do this without you, body. And I wouldn't want to. I am so lucky to have this body as my own. Take a deep breath and feel the air rise underneath your fingertips. Feel your heart beating underneath your hand. Now I want you to raise your hands and stand back into that star shape. Lift your chin up, out and proud, and repeat after me. Body, if you are trying to tell me something, from now on, I will listen. I will no longer ignore you. I am here and I am listening. I trust your guidance. I believe in myself because I exist. I am alive and I was born to be alive. I am stardust. My cells have existed for millions of years. They will rejoin the earth when I am gone. In the beautiful circle of life. But right now, I have a gift I want to share with the world. So I belong here on earth. This is my home. I am exactly where I am meant to be. I trust you to show me the way. I trust you to guide my creative process. I love you exactly as you are. Now show me how good it can get. Take a deep breath, and I want you to relax and come back.
I can almost guarantee that nobody on YouTube has asked you to stand in the Vitruvian man shape and say, I am Stardust. So you're going to remember this by way of novelty for the rest of your life. You have sealed that past portal. The past version of you no longer exists, and you cannot go back. The star shape is primal body language, telling your soul, I am free, I am safe, I don't need to protect my internal organs, which sitting, scrolling, hunched with your phone all day does. You have to show your body you are safe. It doesn't automatically understand by words alone. Now, if you really want to move that trauma out of your body and release it, your brain tends to rewire neural pathways after about 7 minutes. So dancing with your hands up high to a high BPM song, listen to 2 songs, that usually is about 7 minutes. You can change the song to increase the novelty. That's how we stay focused. Dancing is proven to be more effective than CBT or antidepressants. Now, obviously, don't stop taking your meds, but anytime you are in over your head, overthinking, ruminating, or listening to bad thoughts, get back into your body. This is the remedy. It has helped me so much. You are literally in your head and you need to remember you are a star. Get back into that star shape, and that energy needs to move through your arms, through your legs, through your head, through everything. I made a TikTok about this a few months ago, and let me tell you, every couple of weeks someone tells me that they're dancing out the blues, and that opposing body language of the opposite of being hunched and turning out to this shape has saved my life, and it's saved other people's lives. I didn't want to be here. And you can take yourself out of danger because most impulsive thoughts happen quite quickly. And so you can actually impulsively get out of that frame of mind by getting back into your body. Get back into that star shape. Remember, you are a star. And this is the power of art. A 500-year-old painting has hidden magic in it. It is sacred geometry. It's somatic healing. You are literally a star. I am Stardust and I belong here. It's simple and straightforward and easy to remember. Are you ready to see how good it gets? Are you ready to sprout? Because it's almost spring. You have what it takes to be who you are, to make art, to be creative, and you are not hurting anyone. In fact, you are organically helping people. You are being the change you want to see instead of just talking about it. Look back at all the challenges you've already overcome. That right there is proof. I don't want to become emotional, but for some of you, this moment is huge. This is the start. This is it. I know some of you are going to change the world with your art, and even if you don't, by being yourself and showing others it is safe to be yourself, you make the world better. You are going to do what you came here to do, and I am so excited for you. So homework, one day this week, is dancing to 2 high energy songs for 7 minutes. Big Vitruvian, big man body language, okay? This has been The State of the Artist. I love you. Take care of yourself.